Welcome to Spiritwhisper's podcast. In today's episode, I'm sharing a personal journey about falling into the trap of gambling, the lessons learned, and the path to reclaiming control. Let's explore how we can overcome challenges and find strength together. Gambling habit. How I fell into the trap and what I learned. I didn't expect this to happen to me. What started as a casual interest in gambling over the past few weeks quickly snowballed into something I didn't recognize. I kept telling myself it was harmless, a way to unwind and maybe even make a little extra money on the side. But now, looking back, I can see how deceptive and destructive this habit has been. It started small, just occasional bets here and there. At first, it seemed thrilling. The idea of possibly doubling my money with just one good bet. The dopamine rush when I won was incredible, almost addictive even. But I ignored that feeling, convincing myself that I was in control. And if I'm being honest, I didn't think it was a big deal. But little by little, I started betting more. I told myself it was just for fun, that I was investing in luck, but the thrill became more intense each time. And so did the losses. The hidden signs I ignored. At first, it was just an occasional thing. I'd place a small bet here, another there, convincing myself I knew what I was doing. And honestly, when I won, it felt like the universe was on my side, like I was doing something right. But over time, the thrill of a small win wasn't enough. I started increasing the stakes without realizing the financial risk I was putting myself under. I kept ignoring the signs, even when I could feel the stress building up. My thoughts were constantly occupied with gambling, analyzing past bets, planning new ones, and finding excuses to justify this habit. I'd get irritated over the smallest things, snapping at friends and family, and avoiding conversations that could reveal my growing obsession. The financial and emotional toll. Let's be real, gambling isn't free. The more I gambled, the deeper the hole I dug myself into. It wasn't just the money, it was the mental exhaustion that came with it. I started feeling guilty, hiding the habit from people close to me, and telling myself I'd stop after the next win. That next win never seemed to come, though. Instead, I'd lose more and end up chasing those losses in an endless cycle. Every loss felt like a blow to my confidence, but I couldn't let it go. I started borrowing money, convincing myself I'd pay it back soon. I stopped thinking about my future and focused solely on the next bet. It was draining, and it was making me miserable. The highs didn't feel as good anymore, and the lows were unbearable. It's strange how something that started as just for fun could turn into something that made me feel so out of control. The social impact, a growing isolation. I didn't notice at first, but gambling was pushing people away. I found myself canceling plans, lying to friends, and isolating myself. It's embarrassing to admit, but I was scared of people finding out how far I'd fallen. I felt ashamed, and that shame kept me trapped in a cycle of lies. I'd tell myself that nobody understood, that they'd judge me, and it was easier to hide than face the reality. What hurt the most was the impact on my family. They'd ask if I was okay, and I'd brush it off, pretending everything was fine. I couldn't let them see how much this habit was affecting me. The more isolated I felt, the deeper I sank into gambling as a way to escape, and it became harder to reach out for help. Looking back, I see now that the support I needed was right in front of me. I just couldn't bring myself to admit it. Realizing the need to change. It took a while, but I eventually reached a breaking point. I realized that gambling wasn't bringing me any joy anymore, it was just making me feel hollow. I'd lost time, money, and moments with people I cared about, all for the sake of a temporary thrill that never lasted. I felt trapped, but I knew I had to make a change. I couldn't keep living this way, stuck in a cycle that was doing nothing but harm. Accepting that I needed help wasn't easy. I'm a proud person, and asking for support felt like admitting defeat. But the truth is, it's not weakness to ask for help. It's strength. I started by being honest with myself, then with those closest to me. I didn't try to justify my actions or make excuses. I just admitted that I needed support to get out of this mess. I knew that if I wanted to get better, I had to confront this head-on. Steps I took to reclaim control. 1. Admitting the problem. I had to stop lying to myself and face the fact that gambling was a problem. I took a long, hard look at the damage it was doing to my life and made a commitment to change. 2. Seeking support. I found support from people who understood what I was going through, who didn't judge me but encouraged me to keep going. I even looked into professional help. Therapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can be an eye-opener. It helped me understand the triggers and taught me techniques to manage the urge to gamble. 3. Setting boundaries with my finances. I had to get real about my spending. I started budgeting and limited my access to funds to make sure I wouldn't fall back into old habits. I even handed over some financial control to someone I trusted, which gave me the security I needed to stay on track. 4. Finding new outlets. I rediscovered hobbies I used to love, things that brought me joy without any risk attached. I started exercising, picking up old interests, and spending more time with friends and family. It felt refreshing to focus on things that genuinely made me happy. Moving forward, my takeaway. Looking back on these past few weeks, I can't believe how easily gambling took over my life. I always thought I had control, but this experience taught me that sometimes we're blind to the power of our own habits. It's been a journey to break free, and it's far from over. I still face temptations, and I know that this is something I'll have to be mindful of going forward. But the difference now is that I'm equipped with tools to handle it, and I've got people supporting me who want to see me succeed. If you're reading this and any of it resonates, please know that you're not alone. Gambling might seem harmless at first, but it has a way of consuming more than just your time or money. It chips away at your peace of mind, your relationships, and your sense of self. Recognizing the problem and reaching out for help isn't a weakness. It's the strongest step you can take toward reclaiming your life.